Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? We're on stream, so everyone can hear you, by the
Yes.
way.
Yes. Awesome. And everyone can hear you. Okay, perfect. We figured it out. I would like to do StreamYard, but I got a complicated system I got to set up. So tell
Yeah.
me, why do you support Trump?
I mean, there's really, really multiple reasons. Why don't you support Trump? Really,
Um,
really.
because oh God. I asked you first. Give me one.
One reason, he lowered taxes. He's deporting illegal immigrants that are, taking our insurance plans, like the one in California, the Medi-Cal program, where illegal alien immigrants can get, health care. I think that money should be
Okay.
used for Americans to have health
But
care.
he raised taxes, didn't he, with tariffs? Isn't a tariff a tax?
Well, you can avoid tariffs. I mean, you don't have to buy Chinese products. And I thought the Democrats said that iPhones were going to be like $3,000 or $4,000. The
Bro,
new
you
iPhone just came out.
You know that like everything that we buy has some connection to the outside world, right? Like the apples that we buy or the oranges we get from Florida are picked using equipment that is serviced with parts from China. So even like Florida oranges are more expensive. It's literally impossible to buy all American in this economy. You know that, right?
Well, first off, I live in Florida. I haven't seen a price rise for oranges. What's that, Dusty? You want to say something?
Sorry?
You thought illegals were picking our crops, you said?
Oh, you're talking to your chat, right?
No, I'm talking to the other fellow that was in the video that you made about us.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
The guy with the long beard, Dusty. It was just a week ago.
Destiny. Yeah, I'm familiar
No,
with
not
Destiny.
Destiny. Not Destiny. Dustly.
Oh,
Dustly. Not Destiny.
oh,
Not
okay.
the PDF guide,
Okay.
Destiny. You
Yeah,
know,
okay. I'm not
Destiny
sure
has
which one.
admitted to having child content on his, computer.
Okay, I don't know anything about it, but yeah, Florida oranges are picked using tractors that are produced in other countries. Literally every piece of our supply chain, every single piece has imports from somewhere. We are paying taxes in the form of tariffs. That is simply false. You are incorrect. Trump raised
Oh,
taxes for us.
first off, orange prices have not gone up in Florida. I live in Florida. I'm from Florida. Second off, you never debated the fact that they said like 6 months ago now the price of an iPhone was going to be $4,000
Who
thanks
is
to,
they? Are they in the room with us right now?
Democrats.
Like, who are you even talking
Democrats. I
about?
mean, you're a Democrat. What about why haven't iPhones raised prices?
Who
All the parts
said
are
who said
why
iPhones are going to
haven't
raise prices?
the Democrats? They were making memes all over Instagram. They were saying they were going to be $4,000.
I have no idea which specific people you're
Okay, what
talking
about
about or
Samsung?
whatever,
What about
but things have
computers?
gone up. Are you denying that prices have gone up?
Orange prices haven't gone up in Florida.
Okay,
Maybe
what
if you're
about
buying
other
from
things?
Samsung,
Have the prices of other
Alibaba.
other regular items, the price of regular things gone up? Like, are grocery prices higher? Is inflation higher? Is
Oh,
cost of
grocery
living
prices are
higher?
cheaper in Florida. Some places, depends what state and what city. Some places in California, yeah, prices have gone up for gasoline in California
Okay.
because they have an added gas tax
Oh,
thanks to
you've
Gavin
got these
Newsom.
little things everywhere. It's everybody else's fault except for Donald Trump's fault, right?
I mean, gas prices are down. Is that Trump's fault?
Was it Joe Biden's fault when gas prices went up under him?
It was partially his fault.
But it wasn't entirely his fault. So is it Donald Trump's fault now that gas prices have gone up?
They haven't gone up. They've gone down. Look at the towing company.
Gas
What is it
prices
called?
have gone
AAA?
down. You
Yes, look at the towing company, AAA. They have statistics. That's my source. Gas prices, according to AAA, which, they refuel vehicles, they tow cars. It said the national average has gone down 40 cents per gallon since
Bro, we
last
don't
year.
need AAA. We have like a national like price per barrel to figure out how much these things cost.
Okay,
And
if you have any sources you'd like to give,
gas
I'm here
and
to
oil.
listen.
Are you telling me you don't believe that prices are higher today than they were before Donald Trump? Really? Is that what you're really
Depends
claiming?
about what? Depends-
Prices for
No,
literally
definitely not.
everything. Inflation's
Inflation
through the
has
roof.
gone down.
What?
Inflation has gone down. It was at
Inflation's gone down?
9.8%. It was at 9.8%. Now maybe it's around 3.5, four and
Wait,
a half percent.
when was it at 9%?
Probably, I would have to look at the statistics on this, but probably around 2023, 2024-ish.
So this
That was when
is
everything started to hit the fan with Biden.
this
Are we
is a
live on your stream, by the way?
yeah, we're live on my stream.
Well, just to make this clear, this is like our unofficial debate, I guess, because,
Okay.
I really prefer to do like actual face-to-face
I
debates.
prefer
I don't
that
really.
too. We will make that happen for sure. We will.
Fantastic.
I got your
So is
email.
there
I just haven't gotten to respond to it. I promise.
I
I will get back
understand.
to you.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you one quick question though, and then
Okay.
you can ask me a question, or we can just hang up the Discord
All
call.
right.
Is there a single thing that you like that this is a Trump derangement test? Is there a single thing that you can give Trump credit for, or a single thing that you can say Trump did right? Just one thing. Doesn't mean you have to like Trump. Just say one single thing, because I can even name small things from pretty much any president in the last 20 years that's been like at least one good thing they've done.
I think he does good things a lot, but I think the things that he does are in his own interest. Like, he's at least signaled that he wants to legalize weed, and I think that's good generally. I don't see an ulterior motive
So
there
the
for
only
him,
good thing you can
so
sorry to interrupt you.
it's
Sorry,
good.
but continue. Is there anything else?
I was going to say there are a few other things that he's done that have been okay, but by and large, I think that his authoritarian sweep is, kind of weighs out everything good. But go ahead.
Well, we can debate about that on the official debate.
All right.
But one thing, and my friend has a question for you because he was also in the video that you made.
Okay.
But all right, go ahead. What were you going to suggest?
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, by the way, we can debate about the National Guard because that's in the Constitution, and my friend is a historian, so he can break down the Constitution to you, that specific part. But go ahead. What were you saying, Dusty? Yeah, we could chat about that during the official debate, but the only thing you can say Trump is trying to do good is legalize drugs,
And
legalize
stuff. There's other
MJ.
stuff. There are a few other things. I just don't
Can you
like that
mention one
he.
thing that doesn't involve drugs? Because listen, I'm for the legalization of MJ, but like I'm not going to sit here and say that's the best thing he's ever done.
I'm not saying it's the best thing he's ever done. You just asked me like any good thing, and I gave you a single good thing that I think is decent. But again, the dude is doing an authoritarian sweep. Like, we have literal Gestapo like running through the streets. That's unforgivable. I'm sorry. I'm just never going to support somebody that is doing like an authoritarian sweep to this degree.
So what about Obama's mass deportations? And also, one quick thing, you want to know why the tariffs haven't affected the price of iPhones? It's because iPhones only cost $15 to make, and the company is just absorbing a small
That's
profit loss, like a
that's
lot of
just
other
not
companies
true.
will
That is
do.
factually incorrect. You mean the
I mean,
parts cost a certain amount of money to put together, but they have massive teams to write and update the software for it and a whole bunch
yeah,
of other things all along the line. It's very
I forget
expensive
the
to
name for it,
run.
but that's for software. That's a development cost. That's not the actual physical product, but that
It's
is
part
true.
of the product. It's all one thing that costs a lot of money.
Well, why do you think that the price of iPhones haven't risen with the newest iPhone just recently coming out last month?
Well, I know that Apple moved a gigantic shipment, like massive shipping containers full of iPhones out of China at the last minute, not too long ago when the tariffs were about to hit. But I think
Are they
that
the latest version?
what?
Are they the latest version?
I'm not even sure, but I know that we are teetering on the edge of an absolute catastrophe economically, and people are already
What
suffering
indicates that
terribly.
for you?
Hmm?
What's an indicator for that for you?
Inflation, tariffs, there are a whole bunch of different indications that I'm not an economist, but we can look at economists and see what they say about it. And they are very concerned about what is happening.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
Yeah, my friend also has a degree in economics, and he's also has a degree in history. So if you'd like to have a panel debate, which I think is a good idea, we're not going to talk over each other. Everyone can have their times to speak, but I think it would be really good to have. Also, with the inflation rates, if you can give me one single source at maybe you don't have it offhand, but even if you can send it to me later, if you can send me one single source saying that inflation is now higher than it was under Biden, I would definitely be really interested
Okay.
in
I mean, the
reading more.
inflation obviously changes month to month, but Trump is driving inflation up. And we are heading toward. We are already in a recession right now. I believe our GDP.
Not a single economist has on no news network, and and the stock market's also roaring, by the way, but not a single economist has said that we're in a recession unless they
Well, I
have
mean,
like a
GDP. If GDP shrinks by a certain amount for a certain number of consecutive months, then it's a recession, and if it continues for a number of years, then it's a depression. I think those are the definitions, and that's just happening right now. Like, that's just
Well,
factual.
from what I heard, GDP per capita has definitely risen, and a lot of people I know have had raises. You know, the fella that's on the live stream right with me right now got a raise this
Okay, you're
year.
giving
I
me
know a couple
anecdotes
others.
here, but we can like look
Yeah,
at
but you're gonna have to show
statistics and
sources too
facts.
when we actually debate. I mean,
Right.
you can see statistics and facts, but I'm gonna need like sources for the
Okay.
actual debate.
All right, we'll pull up sources and stuff, but the fact is, mass deportations are going to lead to a shrinking GDP because people are being removed from the labor pool. That's just how it works. So obviously,
I'm not
it's going
doubting
to
that.
drop.
That's definitely possible. But the major thing is I have articles from DHS and many other sources. These articles say that on our taxpayer system, that illegal immigrants are a deficit by 451 billion annually. And I
That's
know you're probably thinking it sounds
that's
like a big
false.
number.
No, that's
I
false.
mean,
They
it's
pay
in
in
the
$400 billion in taxes per year. Undocumented immigrants do.
you don't pay 450 billion dollars in taxes. They pay 98 billion dollars per year in taxes, and
No, they
that's from some
don't. That's simply
political source.
false.
Well, show me the source where it says 450 billion.
Okay, let me see if I can find it, actually.
Let me ask you this though: how much taxes does the average illegal immigrant pay?
I'm not sure. I know you're probably wondering how do they pay taxes. The answer is
IT or ITTN. I already know, but the majority of the illegal immigrants don't pay taxes. They
it's
get
not
paid
true.
under the counter.
They can't be
It is true.
hired at a company unless they give them a number to put on paper to pay those taxes. Somebody is paying those taxes. And usually
You're
they're
telling me
putting on a
someone working under the table.
say again.
You've never heard of anyone working under the table before? Like you've never had a friend that worked under the table for cash?
If they do work under the table, which does happen, then the boss is paying those taxes. That's just how the tax system works. But aside from that, it doesn't matter because undocumented immigrants are putting a number down on paper. Like they put on fake social security numbers all the time. That's how it works. And the
It's actually
IRS, the
not
IRS
really
is
a fake security number that happens, but it's mostly an ITIN, which you can request from the IRS if you don't have a legal citizenship. You can pay taxes through that. I mean,
they do
they
use
don't just
that,
use
yeah. But also, I don't know if you saw this. Elon Musk a while back said that like a bunch of money was paid in to the social security number 123456789, and that's because that's the number that a lot of undocumented like people put down when they're trying to get a job because the IRS has a policy of not like investigating it because it doesn't matter as long as they're getting paid.
not 100% sure on it. I would have to fact check all that
Okay,
information.
go nuts. Yeah.
But I had one fella on here that said illegal immigrants pay an average of $15,000 per year in taxes. That's simply wrong. The majority of illegal immigrants make less than the median salary. Most of them make, about $30,000 a year. Now, this isn't all of them, but a lot of them make around $30,000 a year, maybe. There's a $15,000 standard tax deduction. So that means they're paying taxes on $15,000.
I'm
So
not
therefore,
sure.
they're paying roughly around $1,100 in taxes a year. For example, the Medi-Cal program, that program cost about $15,000 to $20,000 a year to insure illegal alien immigrants with health care, which is basically Medicare in California. And with that kind of income, they probably qualify. So they might be paying $1,100
Okay, well,
a year in tax.
look, there's
But
an objective answer to this. Like, we don't have to kind of go all the way around in a circle to figure this out. Like, we just get an answer. Are they on healthcare? Like, I can't even get free healthcare. I don't understand why people think that there's this massive number of like immigrants getting free healthcare. It's absurd. It's not happening, first of all. And second,
it is.
I'm not sure that that's the median or that that's what they're paying in. I mean, there's an objective number. I understand the number to be 400 billion per year across undocumented immigrants. It is an entire swath of our economy that is being wiped out right now, and it's going to damage the GDP. That's the bottom line. It just is.
That $450 billion is the deficit to the taxpayer system. I've read multiple articles on this, multiple sources on it. All of them say that they're roughly paying $98 billion a year in taxes. So I don't know. You'd have to give me a source for where you're getting this $450 billion number, because I've never seen that. I mean, I think you're just confusing the deficit that they cause versus the taxes that they pay. And also, when you say illegal immigrants are simply not getting healthcare in masses, I mean, California has statistics about this. I can send it to you. It's from the Medi-Cali website. It says about 1.6 million illegal immigrants in California have this healthcare program. And all the numbers are there. And these programs are in 14 states. They are getting health care, and there's billions of dollars being spent on it. Do you agree with illegal alien immigrants getting health care? Because there's only a set budget for each state. That means that's going to be taking insurance programs away from American citizens because only a certain amount of people can get it.
The fact is, overall, immigration is beneficial to any society. There is literally no reason to be opposed to immigration, except one that I can think of. And I have no problem with immigrants coming here and trying to follow a pathway to citizenship. And I don't see why anybody else would have a problem with that either.
If I'm legally, I have no problem. I'm not out to your beliefs, but I'm actually not really far on the right. I'm more, central right leaning. But you never really answered the question. Do you think illegal alien immigrants should be getting these healthcare programs in California when there's a set budget? That means only so many people can apply for it. The same program is used for legal citizens.
I think everybody should have healthcare in the United States. Everybody, yes.
That's an easy cop-out. You didn't answer the question.
Yes, the answer is yes. I did answer. Yes.
Okay, so you think that they should be prioritized over American citizens?
No, I think everybody should have insurance. I'm sorry, should have healthcare.
There's a set budget. That's not how the United States works.
Well, I think if we increased taxes on the filthy rich, then the budget could go up a little bit.
I'm not even going to debate you about that, but did you know, even if we taxed every single billionaire in this country to, 99%, 100%, it's still not even going to pay off the national debt. It's really not.
You're talking about all of the money that they have right now at this immediate moment, or do you mean tax them every year over the course of 10 years?
Every year, 100% of their profits for literally years. It's not going to pay off.
That's just not true. I mean, it wouldn't. Of course, it wouldn't pay off the deficit. I'm not saying, or the debt. I mean, I'm not saying it should pay off the debt. But I'm saying we should tax them more. Are you really don't want to tax billionaires? Why not?
I mean, it depends on the specific person and
why does it depend on a specific person? They're all part of this society. We all live together in this society. We all have to pay in.
Depends how they're making money. For instance, Elon Musk last year paid the most taxes in history. He paid a tax rate when he sold his Tesla stock. He paid the highest capital gains tax rate, which is 20%. People that are in the lower class, the people that are in the bottom tax bracket, they're only paying about 10%.
Yeah, so you're saying he's paying more total or more or a higher percentage? What do you mean?
I mean, on the stock he sold, which was billions and billions of dollars, he paid 20% capital gains tax on it. And I understand there's write-offs, but there's write-offs for everyone as well.
Yeah, what's your problem with that?
Most taxes in history. Problem with what? Write-offs?
No, what's your problem with him paying taxes? Like, I want him to pay more. Why is it only 20%? Why wouldn't it be 60, 70? Let's make it.
Why would he pay? He's a self-made billionaire. Why
we give exceptions to societal obligations to self-made billionaires?
I mean, look at other countries with 70% taxes. That does not encourage entrepreneurship or,
Bro, I would love to. Oh, are you kidding? I would love to have a system like Denmark or like any of the Scandinavian countries. Like, they know how to do it. Iceland?
Those are failed systems.
Are you kidding?
Are there more millionaires? There's more millionaires per capita in the United States than Denmark or Sweden. So why is that?
That's because our wealth is being concentrated at the top right now. Like, people want us to look to the left or the right when we should be looking up. The problem is up.
It's not about billionaires. I'm talking about self-made millionaires. We have more self-made. We have more millionaires per capita than Sweden and Denmark and the Scandinavian countries. It's because our system encourages, productivity and innovation and stuff like that in Sweden, Denmark, wherever,
Like, all of these countries have entrepreneurs and they have all, like, I don't understand what point you're making. Yeah, we have a lot of millionaires and billionaires, and the bottom, 30% of our economy is like suffering, dude. When I came out of school, I worked at Burger King and it sucked. I had to work at IHOP too. I worked 2 jobs to survive. I couldn't survive for and that's the story of like tons and tons and tons of people. Like, we're giving all of this, or we are setting up an infrastructure in which millionaires and billionaires can get even richer, while the bottom, like 30% of the country, is suffering. How is that acceptable? Can we agree that we've got to
That's the way
fix that?
capitalism is. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or a billionaire. If you simply have tens of thousands of dollars in your bank account, or you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, your wealth is going to increase because you can invest in assets, and assets will make your net worth go up. But my friend has something to add. What is it, Dustley?
Right.
What do you want to say?
How do you think we should be taxing him and others like him?
Did you hear what he said, or do you want me
No,
to
what was
repeat
that?
it? He said, what tax rate do you think we should tax people like Elon Musk and billionaires, and how do you think we should tax people like that? And also, I can add something to it, but I'll let you respond. Go ahead.
All right. I think it's complicated with the stock market, capital gains, but I'm thinking that 15% is way too low for capital gains. I would say
20%.
what? Say again?
The highest tax rate is 20% for capital
Oh,
gains.
okay. I guess it changed. I thought it was 15. I would say maybe 30% for capital gains, because we still want to encourage like investment. And I would say 70% on earned income in the United States, which is what it was under Dwight D. Eisenhower and a bunch of other like good Republican
You know the history of
presidents.
that? Yeah, that the tax rate was 90% in the 1950s, but there was literally a million more tax loopholes back then for the wealthy. And
You
the
think
effective
that
tax rate that they
okay.
were paying was lower than today,
You
even
think
though they
that
had a
there are
9.
more tax loopholes today or back then?
I mean, I was looking into the history. I was having an AI breakdown. I was reading up on it, and according, to that, maybe there are more today. It seems logical to say that there are more today, but from what I read, it said that there was more back then. And
Okay.
also 70%, you want us to have higher tax rates than Europe and any other country around the world? I
Okay.
mean, we live in 2025. We're going to lose all the billionaires and millionaires
Okay. Yeah.
instantly.
They've been
It would
saying
instantly
they're
leave the country.
leaving New York City if this person wins or if that person loses. They've been saying that for decades, and they didn't go anywhere. This is still the greatest country on earth, still the strongest economically. There's still a lot of innovation. They're not going anywhere. I promise.
Well, we have a lot of Americans pouring out to tax-free zones and just renouncing their citizenship already, like the United Arab Emirates and Dubai. I mean, if we tax them 70%, they're going to build an entire new life off their phone in like a snap of a finger. They're going to buy a house, buy a car, buy a bunch of land, put their
That's just
company
not
over
how it
there.
works. That's never how it ever plays out. Like billionaires have always used this excuse. I'm going to leave if you do this. If you raise my
But there are a
taxes
lot
and
of
make it more reasonable so that everybody can survive, and I'm not sitting on billions of dollars worth of money here. They always say that they're going to leave, and then they never do. Yeah, maybe a couple pick off here or there. But at the end of the day, we need a more fair system. Like, people shouldn't have to work 2 jobs, right? To survive, to pay rent.
Depends on the circumstance. You can live. There's plenty of good jobs out there with no college degree. No, you don't need to work 2 McDonald's jobs. If you're willing to pave asphalt or shovel some asphalt, you can make
There are
30,
only so
$40
many of
an hour.
those. There's only so much of that because there's only so much like gross domestic product in the United States. There's only so much labor demand in the United States. And believe it or not, deporting immigrants actually makes the labor demand go down, not up. Because people aren't, these undocumented immigrants, they're driving on the roads too. They're buying groceries, they're paying rent, and that money velocity is now gone when they're removed from the United States. So removing them does not open jobs the way people seem to think it does. Like, ask any economist. It's bad for the country to do mass deportations. It's bad for the economy. What?
You're gonna have to give quotes, but if economists are so genius, then why does it we keep having, recessions and economic issues under every single president? And they keep saying, "Oh, I give you this advice," and they turned out to be wrong. I mean, it seems like these economists really don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Obama pulled us out of the 2009 or 2008 crisis reasonably well. It could have been a lot worse than it was. So,
I don't know about that.
there are some real dummies out there. Of course, absolutely. There's some real dummies out there. But the people that are in these positions in economics are really very knowledgeable and very skilled. I find it tends to be dummies that don't listen to like the experts that make a complete train wreck out of everything. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in US history, and for me personally. So it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult. And you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
I mean, first off, I don't think a lot of them are such geniuses. If they're geniuses, why don't they have, businesses with hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars, or why don't they have any economic success? Most of them don't even have that.
What?
And they
Who
wanna
are we
give us
talking
advice.
about? You talking about someone
I don't
specific?
know. We're talking about a bunch of different people, really.
Is this
But
that
another thing is
amorphous they? Are they in the room with us right now? Like, who are we talking about? Is there an
a bunch
individual?
of economists. I mean, you can name an economist, and I can tell you if they're, financially successful, if they manage any certain amount of large amounts of money. A lot of them don't. But going back to your point about how the billionaires haven't left yet. I mean, there's a reason they haven't left the country yet, because we haven't applied the 70% tax rate that are
Oh, but
proposing.
the moment we do, right? Yeah, any second they're gonna leave. You just give them a reason, right?
Depends
Yeah,
on the
totally.
industry. Depends on the industry, but I mean, if they have an online business or they have an Amazon, yeah, they're gonna leave.
Bro, America is still the greatest country in the world, and in a lot
I
of
understand it has
ways.
a great market, but
No, I mean
if you make $1 million and you give $700,000 of it to the government, a lot of
but
people are
that's
gonna
not what's
leave.
going to
Like,
happen. They're going to make $1 million, and then they're going to spend that million on whatever business things that they needed to spend it on, and then they're going to get their deductions and their write-offs and everything else, and then at the end of the day, they're maybe end up with $300,000. And then that amount is going to be taxed. The profits are taxed, not the revenue. So it's
we're talking
not.
about
It's
$1
not
million profit. That means they already paid for all the expenses of their company, et cetera, et
right.
cetera, et cetera. So take home pay, $1 million, taxed 70%. People aren't going to try to make $1 million in this country anymore if you're only bringing home 300K.
Oh, come
That's not
on,
gonna,
bro. People aren't going to try to make $1 million if they're only going to take home 300,000. Really?
they're not going to. They're not going to do that. No one in their right mind is going to do that. They're just going to give up their United States citizenship and move to a
Oh,
country
please,
that's
dude.
more economically incentivizing.
We're in a
I mean,
totally
we live in
different universe.
2025.
People are always
Yeah,
trying to
this
make
isn't the
money.
1950s. This isn't the 1950s. We're not stuck in America anymore. We can set up a life in any other country in a click of a button.
So you think that America is just like this close to being a third world hole, then, is what you're saying?
No, it's not that it's a shithole. We have a huge market. We have the biggest market in the world. I'll give us
Right.
credit there. But when you take up all the profits, that's the problem there. What do people do capitalism for? Profits. They don't do it to give the government 70% of the money. And if you want us to give 70% of the money, do you think that the government is a good steward of our taxpayer dollars? Is that what you're trying to say? Because personally, if I do agree with
So
you, I do agree with you. Billionaires should be taxed more. I don't think Jeff Bezos should be paying 0% tax. I agree with you there. But as far as taxing them 70%, you've lost me. I would tax them a bit more. Sure, some billionaires like Jeff Bezos, people that pay 0% taxes. But my ideal world would be, we have some kind of thing where they can donate directly to organizations, charities,
They already do that.
homeless veterans. And this, I mean, yeah, it is a tax write-off sometimes, but I would make it an unlimited tax write-off.
I'm pretty sure
Any
it's
amount
unlimited. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can just pay whatever they want to
don't think
charities.
so. Don't think so. I don't know about how businesses work, but I know there's a personal limit for charity amount that you
Okay.
can deduct from your taxes every year.
Okay, well, so let me ask you this then. It sounds like your concern is that billionaires will go away, they'll go somewhere else. If that concern was erased, would you, and you knew for a fact they were going to stay here, would you be okay with taxing them 70%? Like, what's holding you back from
Absolutely.
that?
Because if we tax them 70%, they're probably gonna hire as few employees as possible.
Why?
And they're
That's a
not gonna
write-off. They don't pay taxes on employees or whatever, since the employees are business expenses. So that doesn't affect
Isn't
profit.
there a set amount of tax write-offs every year, or am I wrong? You can correct me.
No, you don't. I mean, Walmart, writes off billions of dollars every year, and like my company writes off
Okay, that's a
thousands.
fair
So
point. But still, I think I would still not do it because it's unfair. And look at the statistics. Most millionaires are self-made millionaires. These are people that came from poverty. They don't work so hard to give, 70% of their income away to the government. And also because I don't think the government is a good stewardship of the overall taxpayer dollars in general.
Well, look, the fact is we need taxes to function as a society, right? I
No,
mean,
we could probably do tariffs, or we could probably do other things. Go ahead. My friend has one more thing to say. Also, the United Arab Emirates has a zero personal tax rate for businesses and personal. It's only they
that's because of
established a new tax.
tourism and stuff. That's a complicated system that wouldn't apply in the United States.
We could make it apply. What do
We
you have to
couldn't.
say,
It just
Dusty?
doesn't have the same circumstances here.
We'll probably do a clip of this and go, and the dummy on the right believes we should have tariff taxes. But I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. I would like to see the IRS done away with altogether when we go to tariff taxes. And I'm not talking about 100, 200% taxes. I'm talking 5, 10, tops 15% taxes. It's enough to where most people abroad in the world can eat that amount and still stay competitive in U.S. markets, and we don't get taxed.
Did you hear him or no?
I think so. I think so. I think I got it. He's saying he wants to abolish the IRS and just go to tariffs. Is that right?
Yes, that's what he said.
The fact is, some tax systems are like the way that they work will create a system where the bottom 30% are just like that. I'm sorry. Can I swear on here?
Yeah, it's
okay.
too
All
late
right.
now.
I'm sorry. Yeah. They're in bad shape. Like they won't be able to function because they'll have to work multiple jobs. They won't be able to afford healthcare. They won't be able to afford groceries. The bottom 30% and the top 10% will be they'll be sitting on so much money they literally can't spend it because there's nothing to spend it on. There's so much of it. So we can create a tax system that either produces that outcome, or we can create a tax system that's a little bit more fair. Like we'll still have millionaires and billionaires, but the bottom 30% will still be able to like survive on one job, one income. They'll be able to have, good nuclear families or whatever other thing. I want a tax system that sets something like that up where we still have millionaires and the bottom 30% can still function and own a home and everything else. Now, the tariff system he just proposed will create a system where the billionaires will be sitting on so much wealth it's ridiculous, and the bottom 30% are suffering. If we have a tax system with taxes that are higher than they are right now in the United States, capital gains and income tax, then we could start to even it out and make it a little bit easier for everybody to live a good quality of life. Like my goal at the end of the day is for everybody to be happy and to survive and not suffer. I want to reduce suffering.
I 100% agree. I have a couple ideas, but I don't understand, how that's going to hurt the bottom class if they're paying no taxes and it's just a very small tariff. But here's another idea.
It's
How
like a
about this?
sales
We don't
tax.
tax
It's the problem.
anyone on the bottom 30%. We don't tax anyone on the bottom 30%. We have a flat rate tax for everyone, that's upper middle class and whatnot. A flat rate tax, no tax deductions, nothing, just a flat 10% tax rate. I think that's also, a good idea. But here's another idea. How about no taxes? I mean, Trump proposed this. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it did happen, I'd be a big fan. No taxes for, under people making under 150,000 a year or under 200,000 a year, because it sounds like a lot of money. But in California or LA, it's like, be barely just getting by, especially if you have a family or kids or something like that.
I mean, I think that like we can look at other places that have done that, and we can look at like, history and see how that's turned out, and it has not turned out the way that people thought it would. It turns out to favor filthy rich people at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I guess it would be great if like the bottom, certain percentage didn't pay taxes, but they don't really already, since under a certain amount you pay in your taxes with your paycheck or whatever, and then you get it back at the end of the day. So that's kind of the system we already have. But the government needs to be able to function still in society. Like we still have to repair roads and bridges, and we still have to like run, pay congressmen or whatever. And the system that we have set up currently is getting us closer to a fair system where everybody is successful and thriving. It's getting us closer to that than like an all tariff system would, or a flat tax system would, or a VAT tax like the UK has. Like the VAT tax is awful. We could just look at how this affects people.
They also pay income tax too.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
speaking about how history and stuff like that, if you want to talk about how that doesn't work historically, I mean, we can also talk about how like millions of people that are making money in the UK are leaving every single year because of, high taxes. I think they have the biggest millionaire exodus of any country right now, the United Kingdom. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're paying around 60% over there. If you're making, a few million or a million a year or something like that, you're paying 60%. Everyone in the UK is leaving and going to Dubai, going to Monaco, going to all these low tax havens
but
and
if the
setting up
companies
their.
want to operate in the country, then they have to be registered there and they have to be paying taxes there. The billionaires just are not going to leave. It's just that's not how anything works. Like people have families where they live. People have communities and they have, ties to these areas and people just don't leave. Like, yeah, okay, maybe 5 millionaires have left or 20 or something. We have like 18,000 millionaires in the United States or something. And we have how many billion? Hundreds of billionaires, I think, or something in the United States. They're not all going to leave. And if they do, their companies
We
aren't
have
leaving.
700 billion.
We're a big market.
I think we have 700 billionaires in the United States, and I think there's around maybe I think it's get how many maybe 1,800 billionaires in the world. 1,800 or it's less than 3,000.
Well,
There's a lot of tax revenue off the rich, and also the majority of taxes are already paid by the rich. I mean, the
yeah,
majority of
as
people
it
that
should
get
be.
into this are, like if you're talking about, even if we talk about people that are just making over like 150 grand a year, if we include everyone making that much and more, it's like 85, 90% of all the taxes are coming from them.
Yeah, it should be. Of course. I mean, the bottom 30% don't have the money to pay to pay most of the taxes. Of course, most of it should be coming from millionaires and billionaires. Where else would it come from?
I agree with you on that. I'm just pointing it out that,
Okay.
they're already pulling the tax system.
All right. Well, I have to get out of here. I have a couple of other segments I have to do, but we're gonna set this up. Oh, it's just I've got your email.
Right.
I got the one you sent me, and we'll figure out the StreamYard thing. Okay.
Thank you for coming on. And
All right.
my friend says thank you for coming on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on my show. I'll talk to you later on. All right.
Talk to you. Peace.
All right. All right. That was interesting, actually. That was pretty good. That was constructive discourse. I appreciate him talking. It was interesting.